Welcome, everybody, to this week's Business Builder Workshop. This week, we're going to talk about automation. I'm your host, Shawn Patrick Moloney. Thanks for joining me this week. I'm a serial entrepreneur, owner, and broker over at Momentum Realty, working both in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, as well as the owner of Thoth Company, a business consulting company focusing on startups, turnarounds, profitability studies, exit strategies, and so much more. Also, the host of 2 podcasts. The social links are down below. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. I'd love to help. First off, what is automation? So automation is the ability to write a system process for the computer to do automatically for you, otherwise known as automated. So when we have something that happens inside a business or inside a process that continues to repeat, and it happens pretty much the same way every single time, or step by step, there's variables, but they're able to be laid out that if this happens, these 2 things can happen, we can set it to automate. What do I mean by this? Say, for instance, in my real estate company, when we make a deal. So we have a deal and we're going to enter it into the computer. So we're going to go into our deals section, we're going to type in the name of the deal. As soon as we hit save, through automation, the computer is going to create a whole bunch of things. One, a list of tasks to do, everything that the person needs to do next. And as they finish those tasks, it'll move step by step. 2, it's going to create a folder. Why does it create the folder? Well, that is where we're going to store the documents. 3, it's going to create a hyperlink to that folder. So once it has that folder, it's going to generate that hyperlink so that then we can find that folder every single time. Now, normally back in the day, a person would have had to do each and every one of those steps, but because we use automation, it was able to all happen at the very click of a button. The moment they finished naming that deal, the rest was history. It all started happening, and there are certain sequences that will continue to happen until they actually physically close that deal. At which point, when they close the deal, the automation will end and it'll terminate itself. But with some things, it may actually be the beginning of the next automation, because if we have a follow-up schedule and things like that, we could actually set that in that the moment the deal closes, this next follow-up schedule goes. Automation is pretty amazing, does a lot of great things, but ultimately it acts as basically a digital memory and a constant stream. And the great part about it is when done correctly, it's as reliable as you can imagine. It happens every single time. Whereas with humans, we make mistakes. So another place we use an automated thing is through email. So we automate the email system. What does this mean? It means when a buyer gets an accepted offer, the next stage for them is home inspection and the due diligence period. So now they're going to get a reminder email from Momentum saying, congratulations on your accepted offer. Here's the Massachusetts home inspector fact sheet, which is required by law. And also, here's a list of different things that you should check out down at town hall to ensure that your purchase goes smoothly. We automated that to ensure that the agents, number one, are legally compliant with Massachusetts law because they're required to send out the home inspection fact sheet, but also so that they're reliable, so that all their clients get it and they get it in a timely manner because they get it as soon as that previous process is set complete. So where can I implement automation in my business? So this spot, I just wanted to stop and talk about some different things that can be automated and some things that you may not even realize already are automated that are happening around you. So one of the biggest ones for automation would be web processes. So we have the ability, if a user logs into our website, to track what they're doing, or we have the ability, if a user doesn't log in, but they hit our website, we could put something called a pixel or UTM code into them. And later on, we could have that same thing appear and create an action. So if we have a user log in and they're in our website, they load up a pair of pants that they're gonna buy, they have in their shopping cart, they decide not to, and they leave. I could automate a campaign where if anybody abandons anything in a shopping cart, automatically send them that shopping cart full again with a 20% off coupon to their email address. What does this do? The moment that they leave, it says, okay, within 1 hour, I'm going to send, and I'm just saying because I pretend like a set parameter of 1 hour. In 1 hour, I'm going to send this 20% off coupon to turn this drop shopping cart into a success story. Or it could be something as simple as when my client closes, I automatically email a company to send them this closing gift. It sends that automatically. The other company drop ships the item for me, and my order is processed automatically through automation. Automation can run absolutely anywhere throughout. Lots of stuff is automated throughout factories. Lots of stuff is automated throughout stores. When you have a new client, if you have automation set up on the email side, client comes, they buy something at your store, they buy a new set of skis, you sign all their information in. When you hit they purchased it, it knows that those skis need to be tuned up every year. So somewhere around February next year, it automates out a scheduled email that's going to tell the person, hey, it's time to get your skis sharpened. It's time to bring them in and get them resurfaced. Or, hey, Solomon is 20% off because you've studied this person through your system, and they always buy Solomon, so they should know about the Solomon sale. That's what happens when you have a good system, usually a CRM or something along those manners, which is a client relationship management software. When you have those and you have everything and you pair that with automation, it can create an unbelievably powerful business loop where you're constantly doing more business and it feeds itself. Now, time equals money. This is one of those concepts that the 40-hour myth, we talked about it earlier in the game. The idea of selling 40 hours for a certain price and that's going to equal more money. Time equals money, of course. But in a world of time equals money, when we can set automations that happen, it means that we're doing more at the exact same time we're doing less. So the computer's doing it. So while we're building the automations, it may take some time. The time investment of putting in the code, the money investment of paying the people to do so. But the moment we have it, then we turn it on and it continues to happen, duplicating, replicating, and just consistently putting out the exact product that we wanted based on what parameters we set. So now an idea of time equals money, you realize that time can become infinite when using automation. Why? Because the computer can process way more processes than you can put in it. And if it can't process it quick enough, you can always buy a bigger computer that can run more processes, or you can outsource and have someone else host that. But ultimately, the time equals money thing is starting to fade. And that's why you see the ultra rich changing. Because remember, back in the day, whether it be Exxon or any of these companies that had the mega wealthy people, it took as long as it takes to pump the oil out of the ground, turn it into gasoline, ship it across the ocean, get it into a car, get it bought, get it sold, pay the guys, have all this stuff. Now you look at a Mark Zuckerberg, a Jeff Bezos, all these different people, and they erupted. Why? Because they're doing tons and tons of systemization and automation. They're getting rid of clunky processes and they're making them into computer processes. They're getting into the idea of consistency is key. They're getting into the idea of delivery speed, right? Why is it able to get delivered so quick? Well, when you click that button on Amazon, you better believe yourself that there's a lot of automation going on behind there. Everything from sending it to a logistics center that's automating, picking out, okay, this is the best delivery route, live action, changing thousands of times per minute as every order comes in, redirecting, redelivering, canceling, going up, going down. The system they built is so robust that they are able to process these amazingly huge businesses with very few people and a very high profit margin. Whereas back in the day, time equaled money. 40 hours, you got to go labor, you make your money. So remember, systems and automation can make your time-money relations really, really changed. So automation seems too good to be true. I would agree with that statement. A lot of people don't fully understand or encompass automation. So when they hear about it, they think, that can't be true. And they say things like, oh my God, it's extremely complex, or all these different things. It isn't. It's not too good to be true. It is true. And it is why a lot of people are losing their jobs, because their job can be automated. Something that they did could go away. When my cousin was 16 years old, he's probably now almost 40, he used to come to an office park. Funny enough, I actually work in the office park nowadays. And he used to meet with a gentleman. And the gentleman used to do all sorts of stuff with Excel worksheets where he simply took data from one place, put it in another place, compiled it, did a little bit of math, and submitted his reports. Hard worker, really number cruncher, tough job back in the day. You'd have to look at boxes and fields all day and not let the numbers merge. Every single day that my cousin met with him, he learned what he did. He typed more of it into the computer. One day when my cousin went to work, he said, "Where's this guy?" I said, "Oh, he doesn't work here anymore. Your computer program takes care of that." So automation is taking jobs at a high rate. But the truth is, there's new jobs being created, not just in some fields, but in every field. It's allowing humans to no longer pay attention to as many menial tasks that happen and pay attention to higher demand tasks, which means that we thought in the past we saw a separation when it comes to intelligence level and ability. We have a bigger separation than ever because if you can't think complexly, if you can't think about complex situations and unique situations, you're probably not going to survive because if it's not complex and it's not unique, it's going to be automated. So you have to think that to yourself. If it's not complex, if it's not unique, it's going to be automated. So if your job is something that you don't think it'll be automated, I will be happy. Call me after this, email me, whatever. I will show you some robots, some automation, some different things that you probably never even knew existed. And they're right around the corner. So that brings me to my next slide here. Will robots rule the world? So a lot of times people argue these. We've seen lots of cool sci-fi movies and everything. True word that you need to be scared of if it ever came out is singularity, which is where the robots learn to teach each other. And then no longer will they need humans. Probably not going to happen in the near future, but obviously it is coming, and there is a huge amount of everything from Elon Musk putting in the Neuralink into the ape, if you saw that the other day, all the way over to the idea of Boston Dynamics and their robot dogs. It is going to be a huge industry, and it's going to create an enormous amount of jobs. It's going to create an enormous amount of back work because these robots, they will do a lot, like say mowing a lawn. It's not too far out. I mean, already Husqvarna and some other people have created nice little robots that are drive around. Really not a robot by sense. It's just like a little, almost like the vacuum cleaner there, Roomba or whatever. But the truth is, soon enough, you'll see they'll be able to have robots doing pretty much all yard work, whether it be the ones like they're using over in the airline industry or it be ones similar to what Honda has built. No one knows yet, but the truth is, I don't think the robots are going to rule the world, not for a long time. We rule the world. And at the end of the day, knowing and understanding robotics and automation is going to make yourself viable and current in the future job marketplace. Small business owners as well, they need to pay attention to this stuff because the one thing that's tough is competing versus big business. And one thing that'll really set us apart is when they're able to take more of these robotic workforces and have them do stuff. So say at Amazon at the factory, right? There are a whole bunch of people complaining that they don't get treated fairly. Some people even said they were peeing in water bottles because they didn't get breaks. I hate to break it to you, but if you put a robot inside of a building, it will work all day and all night and it'll never stop. And if you were to go even further than that, you say, okay, we put a robot and we remove the roof of the building, it doesn't need weatherproof, doesn't need heat, doesn't need air conditioning. You know what else it doesn't need? It doesn't need power because if you had a robot outside, you could have solar power on its back and it could continue to work 24/7 until that robot broke or needed service. A human needs breaks all the time, has a weak mind, has a weak body, gonna end up with, a health insurance claim or a working comp claim or all these other things, whereas robots will just continue to go. And unless they unionize and take over the world, they're probably not going to have any complaints for you as a boss. I don't think you can do anything bad to a robot other than mistreat the actual robotic system itself and waste your own money. So remember this, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And that's where we're talking with the robots and everything. Singularity. So human mind, we have the ability to create and invent things that didn't exist. We pull them out of thin air, also known as inventions and all different things like that. Computers take processes, systems, and numbers we've already given them, and they replay them and replay them. They do not create original thought at this current moment. The moment they do will be the moment of change, but what comes first, the chicken or the egg, is important to know in automation. Why do I say that? Because when I'm going to use automation, in order for it to do a repeat of a process, the process has to have existed. So when I'm saving things or working my way along things, sometimes I wish automation could do certain variables it cannot do. As we continue to develop the technology, develop the whole entire way it works, and develop the computer, it will become more dynamic, but you always have to think that obviously you can't have a chicken without an egg. I hope this helps you guys think about putting automation into your business and think about new ways to modernize and equip your business for this robotic future. This was the April 15th automation on module 5. Next week, we're talking about outsourcing locally. And then on the 29th, we're going to talk about hiring with precision. After that, we're going to do the commencement, and available always, guys, over on my YouTube channel. So if you're not over there yet, get over there, subscribe, please do. Check out all the stuff. If you're looking for my podcast, you can check it out here. I'm sorry. If you're looking for my social medias and all the different things for my companies, you can check them out here. And last but not least, here are the podcasts. Real Facts on Real Estate is all about real estate industry professionals and how to find success in real estate. Home ownership is all about buying, selling, and owning homes and how to do better in that whole process. Both of them are paired with blogs, newsletters, as well as Facebook groups. If you're looking to reach out to me, here's my contact information here. You can check out my website. It has every single different way to get a hold of me. Email me directly, Shawn Patrick Moloney, or Shawn at Momentum Realty, or Shawn at Thoth Company. Thank you so much for listening this week, and I really appreciate you all, and I wish you luck with automation.